Hello, folks. Pre-Calc Honors, Unit 4, Differentiation, aka Derivatives, Study Guide. So, problem number 1, first notice, part 1 is no calculator, so no calculator allowed, even for basic math. Part 1, question 1a, find the limit as h goes to 0 of blah. Now, first off, acknowledge that if this were last unit on limits, our approach would be to multiply by the conjugate here, just like that over itself, but that is a lot more work than we actually have to do because we want to recognize that this is actually the limit form of the definition. This is written in the form limit as h goes to 0 of f composed of c plus h minus f of c all over h, which is really just a fancy way of saying the slope at two infinitely close points. So we need to look at this and we need to first pluck out the function. So look up here, the function is always going to be that first term there. And remember, that first term is this f of c plus h bit right here. It is our function, but with our c value plus h plugged in. So look underneath that square root. We have h plus 9 there. That's telling me that our c value is 9. And if I sort of pretend like instead of it saying h plus 9, if it just said, say, x, well then I would be looking at the function f of x equals 3 times the square root of x. Because the h plus 9, that's all been plugged inside my function. So I'm looking at 3 times the square root of x. And you cannot forget that 3 right there. It is absolutely part of the function. So now we need to find the derivative of this function at the value of 9. So in order to do that, I'm going to use the power rule. But first, so I don't remember where I left that sentence off, but you want to rewrite f of x as 3 times x to the 1/2 because, again, anytime you're writing a fractional exponent like 1 over 2, the numerator is the power of x and the denominator is whatever root you're taking. We are taking the second root, the square root, so the exponent is x to the 1/2, and power rule says to find the derivative of a function, go ahead and take that exponent, 1/2, multiply it by the coefficient 3 to get 3 halves, and then with your x, subtract 1 from the exponent of f of x. So 1/2 minus 1 is negative 1/2. So I get f prime of x equals 3 over 2 times x to the 1/2. I wrote negative 1/2. I meant to write just 1/2 right there because when you drop it down, that's that you get rid of the negative. That's what the negative does. So I want to take this one step farther. I'm going to write this as 3 over 2 times the square root of x because now I can more easily solve this problem. Remember, the c value was 9. So now I want to find f prime of 9, the value of the derivative at the x value 9. So I plug it in, 3 over 2 times the square root of 9. So I get 3 over the square root of 9 is 3. So I get, look, 3 over 2 times 3, and boom, boom, my 3's cancel. So I get 1 over 2. Don't cross off those 2's and then say your answer is 2. That would, don't cross off those 3's and say the answer is 2. That would be absolutely incorrect. That 2 is in the denominator, so 1/2 should be your final answer there. And if you did that the old way with the limits, you would get that same answer.